Please can you remind me, if you'll be so kind, staring out into space, asking God to hear my case, trying to think of all things past. How long will my memory last? For purple angel, purple angel, purple angel.
Well, hi, everyone, and welcome to Alzheimer's Speaks Radio. I'm your host and founder of Alzheimer's Speaks, Lori LeBay. For those of you that are new to our show, I'm just going to give you a little background on who Alzheimer's Speaks is and why we got started. Basically, we're an advocacy-based company providing multiple platforms to shift our dementia care culture from crisis to comfort around the world. We believe that by joining forces and sharing knowledge and just having these everyday conversations about dementia like we're going to have today, we're going to be able to remove the stigmas and the isolation attached to memory loss and help people continue to live purpose-filled lives. Together, we can help everybody have a better understanding of the true needs of this disease and how it impacts families all around the world. At our core, Alzheimer's Speaks believes that collaboratively we're going to be able to win this battle. And I know it's working because of all of your clicks and likes and shares that you have done. By, sharing on Facebook and sharing with your Twitter tribes and your LinkedIn colleagues and Pinterest and all those different social media platforms, you are having a huge impact. You are helping us spread the word of knowledge and resources by sharing what we do at Alzheimer's Speaks. Not only do we have the radio show, but we have a blog. We do our webinars twice a month called Dementia Chats, and we're always working on different initiatives. And the more we can get that information out to people, the more we can let people know the resources that are there, we are going to be able to make a huge difference and make people more comfortable just clicking on something when they're ready to do that. And again, I can't thank you all enough because of your likes and clicks. Just taking those couple of seconds, we were named the #1 influencer online regarding Alzheimer's by ShareCare and Dr. Oz. So please continue your support for us. We really do appreciate it, and it is making a big, big difference. If you'd like to contact us during the show and join the conversation, you can go ahead and just utilize the chat box and note your comment or question, and we'll be monitoring that throughout the show, and we would love to have you participate. Maybe as you're listening, you're thinking, gosh, I've got a story to tell too. And we interview everybody, people who are diagnosed, people who are caring for those that have dementia. They might be professionals, maybe their family or friends. Could be advocates. Today we are lucky to have with us some songwriters, and it's amazing to me over my mom's 30-year journey how much things have changed and how creative we're getting in terms of raising awareness. And so today we've got with us Bakhus Saba, who started caregiving back in 2004, and he still is. He visits his mom, Annie, daily, as she's now in long-term care, and she's been there since 2011. And he started advocating for dementia and Alzheimer's through songs and videos, and he's had a really powerful impact. He worked with John and Michelle Law on the song called Songs, Still a Child. He has worked with Karen Morand and Dale Butler, who we have here today with us, on a song called You Are Here. And he also worked with Dale Butler on Love is the Cure. Bakhus has done 2 videos that have been really powerful. One was called Dementia and Alzheimer's Knows No Borders, and the other is called Younger Onset, Our World. And so welcome today. How are you doing, Bakhus?
I'm good, Lori. How are you? It's good to talk to you.
I'm doing really good. It's fun to watch all the things that you're doing with your work. I'm going to go ahead and introduce Dale Butler too. Dale has been writing songs since the 70s. In fact, he and Bakhus go back quite a ways to their high school days. And Dale plays about 200 times in senior communities a year. So he's very active and engaged, in terms of the senior community and those with dementia. And again, very, very fun to see the collaborations that are making a difference in touching lives for dementia. So welcome, Dale. How are you today?
Doing great, Laurie. Thank you for having both Bakhus and myself on today. We really appreciate the coverage that you're helping us with here.
Well, good. I'm gonna start out and just ask each of you, have you been personally touched by dementia? And Bakhus, I had mentioned about your mom, but I'll let you just go ahead and share a little bit more about your story if you'd like.
Well, it probably started around 2004 with my mom kind of changing in that the things that she used to do, she was unable to do. So it was probably around 2004, and then by the time 2011 rolled around, all of a sudden the long-term care type thing was coming into play that I couldn't do this anymore. And sometimes the best care is having other people taking care of your loved one, and that way you spend quality time with them. So that's where it happened. It was about in 2011, and I'd been writing songs for a while, so I needed, probably it was after the placing that song, Still a Child, came out of me. I couldn't write it while I was taking care of her. It's just after. That's when it all happened. And then now she's been there since 2011. She's had 8 falls in the last 2-3 months. She is no longer able to walk, so she's in a wheelchair now. Still remembers me. I still visit her every morning, and I've been going there in the evening also. I think the big thing about this disease is when you place somebody in long-term care, the hardest thing is you don't want them to feel alone. And that's one thing that you notice with the people there, that they need visitors, they need company, and that's pretty well where it's at right now. So I visit in the evening, so long as I'm not working, and then in the morning I visit at breakfast.
Okay.
So it is very rewarding. You get into the habits as a caregiver. And it's just hard to get out of it, and it's very rewarding too.
Well, that's good. It's not an easy thing, placing a loved one, and you sound like you've come to terms with it pretty good, because most people, that's something that they really struggle with.
I still struggle, Laurie. There are times I really miss her. I really do. The life that you had before and the life that she had. So, yeah, it is a struggle at times.
Okay.
But,
how about you, Dale? Have you been touched by dementia with anybody in your family, or?
Yes, indeed. I had an aunt who suffered with dementia many years ago, before it was really talked about as much. This is going back into, I would say, I think around the 70s or 80s, and she went into a senior home, and luckily she was very happy, but it changed her total personality, and she was a very meek and mild type woman, would never say anything, out of place, and was always dressed perfectly. But once she started to develop into her dementia, she became, she started singing, out loud and dancing, and she became a very happy person. So it was a little bit different for her. Luckily, she never got angry or any of that type of thing. There was no behavior problems in that sense, but she just became a totally different person. Her best friend, of course, was the mirror. She met with the mirror and talked to the lady in the mirror all the time. But we were happy that she was always happy. And when we visited, she was always happy too. So it was a little bit different.
That's a big gift. When did you have to place your mom? When you said you went to visit, I wasn't sure if she was living alone or if you had to place her someplace.
She had to be placed. This was an aunt of mine.
Okay.
And she had to be placed into a long-term care facility. Her husband had passed away, so she was on her own, and that was the only thing that the family could do at that point.
Gotcha. Okay.
And now with my music, I play at senior homes for a living. I'm retired from the working world, and I play music full time now. And I just absolutely love going into the homes and seeing how the music just brings them to life. People that aren't responding, say, in a verbal way, will all of a sudden start to sing. Mm-hmm. Music brings something, turns something on. I don't know exactly how to describe it, but it's almost like a miracle. It's a beautiful thing. And the other day I was at a home, and a lady came up to me at the end of the program, and I do a 1-hour musical show, and I talk to the people, and I have such a wonderful time with them, and I tell little stories just to make it exciting for them. But this lady started to dance, mm-hmm. and with her daughter, and the daughter came over at the end of the show and said, "My mother hasn't danced for 10 years." And she was so excited that the music just made this happen. And it was just beautiful. So a lot of wonderful things, come out of this sadness that we also see, So
well,
I'm blessed to have music.
Yeah, the simplicity of music and the joy it brings, I think it's very overlooked in terms of being able to bring people peace and contentment and things. And so I think it's just wonderful, you guys working so well at trying to raise the profile and raise the awareness about this disease and the effects of the disease. Now, Bakhus, I know that you believe, younger onset people really need to know that this isn't an older person's disease. And can you tell people a little bit about what you've done to kind of help that cause and change that face of the disease?
Yeah. Well, what happened was after the No Borders video, I got a call from Michael Ellenbogen, mm-hmm. and he had mentioned that I didn't have very many young people in that video. And I thought, well, that kind of triggered a little thought that maybe there's something here. And I had seen a video with Barry Peterson and Jan Peterson. They're people that, they were news foreign correspondents. I don't know if you've ever seen that on YouTube. Mm-hmm. But anyway, Jan had younger onset, and she'd always go to that mirror, and she'd be looking at herself, and the person that was in the long-term care home was with her, and she says, "Is the person that's here going to come with us for coffee?" Mm-hmm. And she was looking at herself at the time. So that kind of triggered the song, "You Are Here." And especially the one verse, "I look in the mirror, and what do I see? The eyes of a stranger stare back at me. The look is familiar, but something is wrong." But anyway, that triggered the song, and I had seen Karen at one of John and Michelle's concerts, and I approached Karen, knowing that I had seen her at one of Dale's coffee houses that he does. And I approached Karen about writing a song about this. Mm-hmm. And about a month later, we had gotten together, and I brought Dale along with me. And we had 2 sessions, and the song was written. Karen already had music. Mm-hmm. But with all 3 of us, we sat down and worked on the lyrics. And when you do that, you want to get your lines in as a lyricist. So we plugged away at it for 2 sessions, and we got a song. And I think it's a great song. It speaks volumes.
Mm-hmm. And can you say the name of the song again for people?
You Are Here. Mm-hmm. And it's written from a perspective of somebody having younger onset.
Okay. Well, why don't we go ahead and play that now, Wyatt, if you don't mind throwing that on, and we'll listen to the song, and we can talk a little more about it.
forgetting confusion, losing the pain, but I'll remember your name, and I'll love you just the same. You are here, you are near. Hold my hand, one thing remains through the years. You are here, you are near. Hold my hand, one thing remains through the years. You are
Wow, what a beautiful song. I love the lyrics. You are here, you are near. It's just a very, very powerful song. What type of response have you been getting from people on this, Dale?
Oh, it's been just wonderful. It touches their heart, and I think that's what every songwriter wants to do, is have people, discuss, how did this song come about? They love that we're actually touching the topic. Some of these, like you were saying earlier, it has to be out front. We have to make people more aware, especially of early onset. It's touching more and more people. I'm seeing it every time I go to the homes that I'm playing in what were once called senior homes. There's younger and younger people in there, and it's hard for me to look at that, and I know it's hard for everyone, including the staff. It's a whole different ball game we're dealing with now, and some of it I know is I'm seeing some of it is caused by even things like the sports injuries. What are we talking about? Concussions, those type of things. And I think that's going to be more relevant as we go along. They're going to find out more about this. There's been so many, I think, sports people that have committed suicide, and I bet if they tie it all together, it's going to be that it's this early onset stuff that's kicking in. That's pretty sad.
Yeah, I know. Even just visiting my mom when she was still alive, she was in the nursing home for quite a while, and 14 years, and just seeing the face of who was there, huge change, huge change, and seeing kind of the struggles of staff trying to deal with a different type of person with this disease as well. Bakhus, are you seeing a change since your mom has been in terms of
a little bit? I think the hardest part is you're seeing a lot of people, like, for me anyway, is 4 years ago it's completely changed the number of people that are there. So the people that were with my mom for years are no longer there. So that's difficult when you're going there every day and then you see somebody passing away, and I think, oh, this is pretty hard. As far as where the song is touched people, I don't know if you've noticed on the video, the younger onset, Our World, there's a Karen H. that left a comment, and it really touched me in that she's been all around it. She's been on shows with Paula Zahn, ABC News, I think Oprah here, and a lot of her family has been touched by this, including her husband, who had passed away. But anyway, she left a comment here on YouTube. It's really interesting, and if I can read a little bit of it. Sadly, I feel the government does not push for funding because most people think this disease only affects older people. In my heart, I feel the money isn't earmarked for Alzheimer's because those in power feel most patients with the disease have lived their lives and it's not worth the effort. I have been doing this for years to get people to see that this is not an old person's disease. But anyway, that's just a little part of what she had written here.
Mm-hmm.
And that really, does make sense. Like, that they think it's an older person's disease and they just don't want to put money into it, and that's sad. It really is. And then you got to stop it at a younger age. But anyway, that really touched me there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I guess the rest of the comment is on the YouTube video, the Alzheimer's, the one about the younger onset, that video.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody wants to read the rest of that.
And they can, to go to your YouTube channel, can you tell them what that is?
If they want to listen to the song with Karen singing, it's Karen Moran, You Are Here. And then the other one is Dementia Younger Onset, Our World.
Okay.
And that'll have the stories of a fair amount of people here. I think I've got 14 in that video. And some of the names I think you've crossed paths with, Lori, like Michelle DeSosa.
Mm-hmm.
And she runs Memory People on Facebook. And then the other person, Karen and Jim Garner.
Mm-hmm.
Jim's got younger onset, and Karen blogs Missing Jim. That she writes a blog for that, and I think Jim has gone into care also, and he's in his early 50s.
Okay.
Kate Lau from Indiana, she formed a team, and she called her team Too Young to Be Old, which was influenced by our song here, which is a line in the song of You Are Here. And I think that's, the first verse. Mm-hmm. Early onset is what I've been told. I'm too young to be old. So she pulled that line there and wanted to use it for her team, her running team for raising money.
Uh-huh.
And Kate Swaffer does a lot in Australia, blogging, and I think she writes for the Australian Journal of Dementia Care. So there's some people here that are doing a lot of things for younger onset. Michael Belleville also. I don't know if you've crossed paths with Michael.
No, I have not with Michael.
Yeah. Kathy Segan also. I think you've crossed paths with Kathy. Mm-hmm. She's trying to get the stamp across so that they can raise money. Through.
Yeah, they've been working hard on that for years.
Yeah, it keeps getting rejected, and I don't understand why. At least, hopefully this time it'll go through.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the good things that come out of this, and that's a lot of what's come out of this song, that it gets certain people out there, and they've got their stories being told. And I think there's a lot more, 5.3 million in the States that have been diagnosed with Alzheimer's or dementia, or some form of dementia. So I think this song has got a lot more people that it can reach, a lot more.
Yep, wonderful. Bakhus, you were talking about the video with the young onset, but you also made one prior, which was your first one, the dementia, Alzheimer's.
No borders.
Yeah, and that, that was phenomenal when you did that first one, and it just kind of blossomed from there. And did you ever think in a million years you'd be doing what you're doing as far as advocacy?
Never. I had a feeling, though, when I was going through what I was going through with Mom, that there's got to be a place and why this is all happening. So maybe by bringing these songs out, it kind of makes you find your place on what you need to be doing. So through song, and I've been blessed that I've been around some real good musicians around here locally that have kind of climbed aboard, Dale and Karen, the Laws, and I've done other stuff with other musicians, so it's been pretty good that way. And I don't even know how to read music. I don't know how to play instruments really, so the only thing I can do is just write lyrics, so I feed the lyrics to people that can put music to them. So I've been pretty blessed that way.
Wow. Now, Dale, Bakhus is, he really isn't musical per se. He writes the lyrics. How about you now? Are you strictly a writer, or I would imagine that you sing and play some music as well?
Yes, I do both writing of lyrics and writing of music. And I got into this at a very young age. I was 5 years old when I started music, and then started performing out at age 13. And I just can't stop. And then the writing part with Bakhus and I together, we've written other songs, too, that aren't related to the early onset or dementia, but just what we would call folk songs. So it's kind of our life to write. But every time Bakhus says, I've got another idea, I'm always there to help if I can. And we have such a good time in the studio putting these together. And just knowing that it might touch the heartstring of someone and make them think about, what we're trying to get across. I think that's worth a lot. And sometimes they need music to be told a story. I think it just touches them differently rather than just reading about it. If they can hear it in a song, it just has an impact, I think. So it's important. Very important.
Yeah, very, very much so. And not just to the person with dementia, but those caring for them as well. It changes the whole kind of dynamics of a room when music is played. It's pretty phenomenal to watch. I'm sure you guys have seen the film Alive Inside that really showcases the power of music and how it can affect somebody if they have dementia or not. That movie had people with schizophrenia and depression and there were so many different types of people that this music impacted. And again, getting to know what people enjoy, because it can also trigger some negative responses as well. So you have to know the type of music for individuals. Needless to say on that. Now, there's no cure or anything for this disease, and you guys, Bakhus, you were working on another song called "Love Is the Cure" that was written by Dale. And Dale, do you want to talk a little bit about that song?
Yeah, it's our latest project, and it was real enjoyable. I'm just going to see if Bakhus has the lyrics here.
Wow! No, I don't have them. I don't have them with me.
I might have the lyrics. So I'll let you talk to Bakhus for a second, and I'll go grab the lyrics so I can give you just a rough idea of the direction we went on that one.
Okay. And then Bakhus, before you start, I'm just going to yell out to Wyatt because I did shoot him an email, and I just want to make sure if he had a chance to upload that song as well that we could play that too. So go ahead, Bakhus.
Yeah, that one was interesting. I had an idea that, especially like with couples that are dealing with having to be a caregiver, a husband or wife, and they're in a marriage that they started, 20, 30 years earlier, and all of a sudden here they are 30 years later, or, whenever they get diagnosed, and I'm thinking, geez, those words "I do" that you say in marriage vows sure do change when you become a caregiver to your spouse. And I thought those wedding vows would make an interesting lyric in a song. So that's where that idea came from. And if you notice the chorus, it does have the wedding vows in those words. I don't know if you noticed that, but if you play it, you'll hear those wedding vows. And then the verses are basically what couples have to deal with when they're dealing with the probably younger onset more so, because you're dealing with the financial part of things, having to try to keep a job, and there's either a husband or wife that cannot work anymore. So there's a lot to deal with. But that's what that song's all about. And right now, love is the only cure we've got. And, I had called it Alzheimer's Must End. and I thought it was too direct, and we had used those lyrics, Alzheimer's must end, and then we changed it to Love is the Cure, and it fit just perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And we took an afternoon off. I took an afternoon off, and Dale came over, and I said, here's the ideas, and away we went, and we wrote it, and we got a terrific singer by the name of Joan Charette to sing it. And we videotaped the studio session.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Dale's here. I think he's got the lyrics.
Yeah, I found them.
Okay. Okay.
In my collection of songs. Yeah, as Bakhus had mentioned, that there's, we went off of a typical, wedding vows. I love you now more than the day when I said in sickness and in health. And then there's another one, I love you now more than the day when we said I love you forever. And for richer, for poor. And we, again, talking about, there's loss of jobs, there's, and then as soon as that happens, there's loss of identity in most cases, which is, a hard thing to take mentally.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's another line in the song, you have become my shadow. I am the face that you know. Your identity has been stolen. Our home is where you belong. Home is where you belong. That's, of course, the hope and dream of everyone, is that, you can be in your familiar home surroundings as long as possible with this.
Hey, Laurie, that line that Dale just read,
mm-hmm.
that came out of, I don't know if you read the book, Dancing with a Stranger, Slow Dancing with a Stranger.
Mm-hmm.
And just thinking, it's, what's her name? She used to be a newscaster, and she wrote the book for her husband had younger onset.
Yep, and I can picture her face, and she works with Us Against Alzheimer's, and I'm going blank at her name.
It's called Slow Dancing with a Stranger,
mm-hmm.
and she's on the Us Against Alzheimer's site.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that verse that Dale just wrote, because she had a line in there where her husband would always follow her because
mm-hmm.
she was the familiar face. So anywhere in the house, he was like her shadow.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where the influence came on that one, because I read that book and I thought it was a real interesting read, real good read. Slow Dancing with a Stranger.
Yeah, another line that's very powerful in the song too is, your thoughts have been silenced and I will be your voice. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what Bakhus is all about, is being a voice through these songs for all the caregivers and for the people that are suffering with dementia.
Meryl Comer. Meryl Comer is in
Meryl. Yep. Yes. Glad someone can remember something. Yeah. My brain, I could just hear it chugging along, trying to go, I know, I talked with her, I can see her face, I remember her stories, the whole 9 yards. So, yeah, I'm glad you remembered her name. Well, why don't we go ahead and listen to this song? Wyatt, if you want to go ahead and play this song, Love is the Cure.
I love in sickness and in health. And I do. Love is the cure. Become my shadow. I am the face you know. Your identity has been stolen. Our home is where you belong. Home is where we belong. I loved you then, and that was the day when we said, for better or for worse. And I do. I love you now more than the day when I said, for richer or poorer. Oh, I do. Your thoughts have been silent, but I will be your voice. And through this long goodbye and all the tears we've cried, memories never end. Love is the cure. Memories never end. Love is the cure.
Wow, another gorgeous song you guys have written. How can, Bakhus, how can people hear these songs? Are they on iTunes or is it just YouTube?
Right now I've just been putting them on Facebook and on YouTube.
Okay.
Still a Child is available on CD Baby, and it would be John Law, Still a Child. So that's about the only spots. I'm thinking of doing a mini CD, because I've got another song in the pipeline coming up. And I'll put all four on a CD. I may put a fifth one because somebody out of Australia, Malibu, she has pet therapy. She used a song that John and Michelle had I had written with John and Michelle. And she uses that on a video that she has made with her pets, Malibu. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with that.
No,
Yeah, that one there. She I don't know how I connected with her. Through Facebook probably. And she used a song called, I'm trying to remember the song I wrote there. Do you remember that one, Dale?
No. Sorry.
That was written in 2009. I Can See a Light. I got to remember my songs here. I Can See a Light is the song. A good song. I'll send it to you.
Okay, wonderful.
Okay.
Well, that is great. You guys are doing wonderful work, and I can't thank you enough for taking time out of your day to share to share your work. It's having a big impact on people all over the world, and so keep up the great efforts, and please keep us posted as you roll out with new songs and things. It helps.
Thank you,
so much.
Lori. Thank you for all you're doing. It's an avenue for us that we can share, the music through your site and all you're doing. It helps a lot. And I don't know if you remember how we met. I sent you Still a Child, and I got the call from you like maybe 5 minutes after I sent it to you, and it had touched you right away.
Yep.
So I remember that. All of a sudden I get a call from Minnesota. I said, "Who's this?" And it happened to be you.
Yeah. It is funny how people get connected and stay connected. once they're touched. The story shared and, the common cause and things. Pretty powerful stuff.
Yes, it is. And again, thank you so much for having us on your show.
Now, Dale, I have a question for you. Is there a way people can reach out to you if they're interested in maybe having you come and sing?
Oh, boy, that would be fun. I suppose the easiest way to get a hold of us is through the Facebook. I'm under Dale G. Butler on Facebook, or just Dale Butler. I have two. And then also I could be contacted through lastfridaycoffeehouse.com.
Okay.
And that's a coffee house that I run featuring local musicians in the area.
Okay. So Dale G. Butler on Facebook.
Yep. Or lastfridaycoffeehouse.com.
Okay. Wonderful. Well, again, appreciate all of the work that you guys are doing. And again, I thank you so much for taking the time to be with us. And I look forward to your new works and hearing what you're doing.
We'll send it your way, for sure.
Okay, wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you. For those of you that weren't able to listen to our last show, you might want to go back to the archives and listen in. We talked to an author who wrote a book about including children in the conversation about dementia, and it was a pretty powerful conversation. We also did a Dementia Chat session, a webinar on the 27th, and that's on the blog, and it's also on our Dementia Chats page, which is on our main site, which is alzheimersspeaks.com, and then just go to the tab that says Initiatives and Projects, go down to Dementia Chats, and there you'll find a discussion where we talked about tips for living with the dementia, helpful ideas for the holidays, holiday seasons coming up, and how doctors and clinicians can best work with somebody with dementia, some changes that they can do. On the blog, there was information on a radio interview, Alzheimer's and You. There's also a post that was done on the 30th for a teleseminar that's going to be through the Alzheimer's Research and Prevention Foundation. And Curdy Kelsa, who's the CEO of ARPF, will be hosting that, and they're going to be talking about the caregiver's journey and new ways to find meaning, and that'll be on November 18th at 5 p.m. Pacific. That's 6 Mountain, 7 Central, and 8 Eastern Time, and that is free. Also posted on the blog is the summary of the National Survey on Dementia, which was done by the Dementia Action Alliance group, and has some great findings there. Last, I want to give a shout out to the Savor Your Life Education and Resource Fair. That is coming up this Thursday at the 5th from 4 to 8:30 at Transfiguration Catholic Church. They're going to have all kinds of topics shown and shared with various speakers and interactives. Then people are always asking me about His Neighbor Phil and where they can find that film. On the 5th, that'll be shown in Roseville, Minnesota at the City Hall. On the 12th, it's going to be at J. Arthur's Coffee Shop in Roseville. On the 19th, it'll be at Rasmussen College in Eagan. And on the 22nd, White Pines in Blaine. All of those are, again, in Minnesota. So really appreciate all the work that Bakhus and Dale have put in and the time they shared with us today. For those of you that aren't familiar, Alzheimer's Speaks Now is on Alive and Social, and you may want to take a listen to the Twin City Hit Show, which plays Monday through Thursday at 9:30. There's a lot of great banter with the team from the Twin City Hit Show there with Rusty Gatenby and his team. Check them out. Or Apples to Apples is a sports show with some banter between father and son. That's always really interesting. So take a peek at Alive and Social. They've got a lot of fun shows. Alzheimer's Speaks, I think, is just one of many there that I think you will enjoy, and all of them are archived, so you can grab easy access to them. Until next week, we will talk soon, and just have a fun and safe week. Bye now.